British Prime Minister Boris Johnson is back in Downing Street after his own fight against coronavirus to tell the country now is the moment of maximum risk.
I refuse to throw away all the effort and the sacrifice of the British people and to risk a second major outbreak and huge loss of life and the overwhelming of the NHS.
President Trump invites the media back to the White House and says more tests will control the spread of the virus and help states end lockdowns.
We are continuing to rapidly expand our capacity and confident that we have enough testing to begin reopening and the reopening process. We want to get our country open.
Italy prepares to ease its lockdown. We'll be looking at what that might mean for one of Europe's worst affected countries. And putting it together during the lockdown, the big stars of Broadway marked the 90th birthday of legendary composer Stephen Sondheim. The president of El Salvador has authorized the use of lethal force in the country's fight against criminal gangs. He said that gangs were taking advantage of the coronavirus pandemic after more than 50 people were killed between Friday and Saturday. He also ordered a 24/7 lockdown for imprisoned gang members, including putting some gang members from rival gangs in the same cells. The collapse in demand for oil because of the pandemic has sent prices plummeting again. The US benchmark West Texas Intermediate tumbled by 25% below $13 a barrel. The crisis has been made worse by a lack of storage space for oil. Officials in South Korea have denied reports that the North Korean leader is seriously ill after reports amid rumours that Kim Jong-un was brain dead or gravely ill following a heart surgery. The presidential office in Seoul said there were no particular signs to indicate that Kim Jong-un was gravely ill. It's not the first time that rumours about his health have provoked speculation. About 6 years ago, he wasn't seen for several months, but it later transpired he'd been treated for gout, apparently.
President Trump uses his first coronavirus news conference since Friday to accuse China of failing to stop the spread of the illness. As the number of confirmed global cases passes 3 million, we compare how different countries are tackling the pandemic. And as lockdown restrictions begin to ease across a number of American states, we speak to the owner of a hair salon about getting back to work. The World Health Organization has warned that the coronavirus is disrupting normal health services, particularly immunization for the poorest children. The Director General said there are reports of shortages of vaccines against other diseases, such as polio and cholera. Sweden's bars and restaurants are facing huge falls in business, even though they've been allowed to remain open. The business minister, Ibrahim Baylan, told the BBC venues in some parts of Stockholm had seen a drop in demand of up to 90%. In recent days, a number of venues have been closed for allowing overcrowding.
President Trump has said he can't imagine why US hotline calls about disinfectant have risen after he suggested injecting the substance to treat coronavirus. On Sunday, a number of state governors blamed the president for the spike in such calls. Following heavy criticism from medical professionals, Mr. Trump said his remarks were made sarcastically.
Hundreds of thousands of people in New Zealand have gone back to work today as the lockdown restrictions there are relaxed. Some measures have also been eased in Australia, where a number of beaches have reopened, including famous Bondi Beach in Sydney. Surfers and swimmers were seen there enjoying the waves after a 5-week ban. Households in the state of New South Wales will also be allowed 2 visitors at a time.